Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well in this crazy ass energies that we are in right now, post the eclipse of March 29th. It's been a lot of planets hanging around in Pisces. That's what's creating all this ups and downs that we are experiencing right now. Anyway, I wanted to personally touch base with all my listeners. I'll be doing some series of voice notes like this going forth so that there is a more personal touch to the podcast. Otherwise, it's just AI based podcast with a packed learning system. You see, there's a lot of depth and breadth of knowledge which is being shared. I'm making it with the help of artificial intelligence and voice notes. Um, the reason being it can pack in more knowledge, although I have to, kind of see each and every draft of what it's cooking up because as much as we like to dream of that artificial intelligence is the new heaven on earth or something like that, it isn't. It needs to be polished a lot. It makes a lot of errors, more errors than we choose to, at least at the moment. So I have reviewed all the drafts, just so you know. It's not like it is blindly published using artificial intelligence and a voiceover. So just pay attention, take notes, and I hope the learning is beneficial to you guys, whoever is listening, whoever is learning from these podcasts. Okay, so this particular voice note is about the Panchanga system. Now, this channel, as you might have realized, is more focused on the self and how the self is embodied in the human personality. And therefore, I'm taking a modern psychological approach also, bridging the Myers-Briggs model and the NLP model and the four temperaments model, all kinds of model, Enneagram model. There are lots of different kinds of bridges that I have tried to build in conjunction with the Vedic astrology. That is bringing it to the zodiac, bringing it to the nakshatra specifically. Probably this is the only channel which has got the largest number of nakshatra devoted to it, but it is only from the personality aspect point of view because the soul, as much as there are so many people like to talk about soul, the soul is an abstraction. It is embodied only through the human personality. Whenever a soul has to arrive here, it has to arrive in the physical form, in a particular lineage, in a particular family, race, culture, and so on and so forth. So it is better that we use the self as embodied self within the shield or within the womb of personality itself. And that's the study and that's the effort here in this channel. So the interest of the young person who's coming and visiting this channel would be best served by understanding the personality of what drives them subconsciously, what drives them as a person, the innate drives, what you unconsciously are moving towards proactively, reactively, and so on. So I suggest when you are studying this Panchanga series, which is what this voice note is all about, I suggest when you study the personality using these podcasts of this channel, first always begin with Panchanga. Always, always, always. Because the Panchanga is the angular study of sun and moon in your chart. The main two luminaries in the astrology is sun and the moon. So we have the two cycles of the sun and moon, right? The Krishna side, which is going towards the waxing moon, the waning moon, and Shukla side, which is the waxing moon. So it goes between Amavasya and Purnima, the two cycles, 15 days of the moon cycles, ending in full moon and new moon respectively. So study the angles between sun and moon and why this is important. It is not almost, it is distinguishing between the soul, that is your sun, and the moon, that is your mind. What is the distance, so to speak, angular distance between your mind and your soul? That is the study of Panchanga. And it starts with the Vara, as you have seen in this playlist. This whole playlist, I'm sticking this video there. The entire playlist of Panchanga, including all the case studies of celebrities to help you understand that better, how it plays out or played out in their lives, is to see which day of the week a person was born, that is the Vara, then the Tithi, Yoga, and Karana, which is the manifestation of the angles between the sun and the moon, and then finally the ascendant nakshatra. These are the five elements: the Vara, the Tithi, Yoga, Karan, and the nakshatra. Ascendant nakshatra is what I am considering for the purposes of these studies. So always study the Panchanga elements first and then move on to the nakshatra part and the other playlists. Okay. Then move on to the subconscious part. Because the Panchanga elements are, in my opinion, at least what I have seen, the most neglected part of Vedic astrology. And it's probably one of the most important guidelines because the Panchanga element as it is in your chart is for your life. It is not dependent on Mahadashas. It is not dependent on specific time periods in your life. It is throughout your life. Doesn't matter which dasha you're running or what planets are in your chart and how they are positioned. This is the Panchanga importance. So the self as personality first do the Panchanga analysis and then move on to the subconscious and the NLP and the eclectic astrology part of the channel. Okay. Make sure you do that first. Take care. Watch this entire series. I hope you take notes. I hope you learn a lot. And if you are having something which you want me to bring forth with the podcast, just put it in the community tab. Take care. Be safe.
Conscious Astrology, Navigating Tithi. Hi, welcome to Consciousness Podcasts. In this season, we analyze the Hindu Vedic calendar system of Panchanga with respect to consciousness principles. We continue with Tithi, the emotional body, which plays a crucial role in understanding your emotional patterns and personality traits throughout life. Today, we explore Dashami Tithi. Let us begin. Dashami Tithi Overview. What is Dashami Tithi? Dashami is the 10th Tithi, lunar phase of the waxing Shukla Paksha or waning Krishna Paksha moon. It occurs when the moon is 120 degrees ahead of the sun in the zodiac. This Tithi represents order, responsibility, and dedication to tasks and goals. Dashami is often associated with leadership, disciplined routines, and the pursuit of excellence in one's endeavors. Personality traits. People born on Dashami Tithi are disciplined, task-oriented, and dedicated to maintaining structure in their lives. They have a strong sense of duty and excel at creating order in their surroundings. Dashami individuals often thrive in leadership roles, where they can take charge and implement organized strategies. However, their focus on routine and control may make them resistant to sudden changes or disruptions. They may also struggle with flexibility, preferring predictable outcomes to spontaneous events. Astrological significance. In a chart, Dashami Tithi signifies the emotional need for structure, organization, and achievement. This Tithi highlights the importance of balancing order with adaptability. Dashami-born individuals often find their purpose in creating systems of success, but must learn to embrace change and unexpected challenges as opportunities for growth. Consciousness principles for navigating Dashami. 1. Consciousness seeks order without rigidity. Consciousness thrives in creating systems that support growth without becoming trapped by them. It seeks balance between structure and spontaneity. Application. Dashami individuals excel at creating order and following routines, but may become overly rigid in their approach. Consciousness encourages them to cultivate flexibility within their structured environments. Introduce small, spontaneous changes to daily routines to build adaptability. Reflect on how temporary disruptions can lead to new insights and improvements. Use affirmations such as, "I embrace change as part of my path to success," to reframe unexpected events. 2. Consciousness finds purpose in consistent progress. Consciousness values steady, intentional growth rather than sudden leaps toward perfection. It finds fulfillment in gradual achievements. Application. Dashami-born individuals often hold themselves to high standards, expecting immediate results. Consciousness invites them to appreciate slow, consistent progress as a form of mastery. Break larger goals into smaller milestones and celebrate each step. Focus on progress rather than perfection, using reflection to acknowledge growth over time. Practice patience by setting realistic timelines for long-term achievements. 3. Consciousness expands through adaptability and flow. Consciousness integrates change as a natural part of growth, finding strength in the ability to adapt while maintaining core values. Application. Dashami individuals may resist change, fearing that it will disrupt their carefully built systems. Consciousness reminds them that adaptability is not a loss of control, but an enhancement of resilience. Identify areas in life where rigid expectations can be loosened to foster creativity. Practice mindfulness during moments of change to remain grounded in the present. Reframe challenges as opportunities for reinvention rather than obstacles. 4. Consciousness embraces rest as part of productivity. Consciousness understands that rest and reflection are essential for sustained productivity and clarity. Application. Dashami-born individuals may associate rest with laziness, leading to burnout. Consciousness invites them to view rest as a form of discipline that enhances focus and energy. Incorporate intentional rest periods into daily and weekly routines. Engage in activities that promote relaxation, such as meditation, journaling, or nature walks. Practice gratitude for moments of rest by affirming their role in long-term success. Suggested consciousness actions to overcome Dashami challenges. 1. Flexibility hour practice. Dedicate 1 hour a week to spontaneous activities or unplanned tasks to build adaptability. 2. Progress journaling. Reflect daily or weekly on small achievements and how they contribute to larger goals. 3. Mindful adaptation. During moments of change, take 3 deep breaths and focus on the present to remain calm and responsive. 4. Rest and recharge ritual. Schedule intentional downtime, such as quiet mornings or creative evenings, to replenish energy and maintain clarity. By aligning with these consciousness-aligned actions, Dashami-born individuals can transform their disciplined nature into a balanced approach that values both structure and spontaneity. This allows them to pursue their goals with resilience and grace, turning challenges into opportunities for growth and cultivating lasting success through mindful action and intentional rest. Conscious Astrology, Navigating Tithi. Hi, welcome to Consciousness Podcasts. In this season, we analyze the Hindu Vedic calendar system of Panchanga with respect to consciousness principles. We continue with Tithi, the emotional body, which plays a crucial role in understanding your emotional patterns and personality traits throughout life. Today, we explore Dwitiya Tithi. Let us begin. Dwitiya Tithi overview. What is Dwitiya Tithi? Dwitiya is the second Tithi, lunar phase, of the waxing, Shukla Paksha, or waning, Krishna Paksha moon. It occurs when the moon is 24 degrees ahead of the sun in the zodiac. This phase signifies the consolidation of energy, where the initial spark of action, Pratipada, begins to take shape and form. Dwitiya represents nurturing, patience, and preparation for steady growth. Personality traits. People born on Dwitiya Tithi are highly aware of their appearance and confident in how they present themselves. They are resourceful, protective, and nurturing, but can become resistant when outside their comfort zones. They hold strong emotional ties to their family and prefer privacy in personal matters. This sensitivity can make them seem defensive or guarded. Astrological significance. In a chart, Dwitiya Tithi reflects the moon's continued emotional expansion after its initial emergence from the sun's influence. This stage signifies the emotional desire to stabilize and nurture efforts and relationships. Dwitiya-born individuals are deeply connected to ideas of emotional security and sustaining success, sometimes to the point of avoiding risks that threaten their comfort. Consciousness principles for navigating Dwitiya. 1. Consciousness seeks stability and experience. While consciousness enjoys variety, it also thrives when experiences provide a sense of integration and groundedness. This stability allows it to savor and process growth. Application. Dwitiya individuals often seek stability and comfort, showing resourcefulness and care for themselves and others. However, they may become too focused on external validation through appearance and familiarity, leading to resistance to change. Embrace moments of uncertainty as new opportunities for growth rather than threats to comfort. Develop resilience. By practicing small shifts out of comfort zones, such as trying new routines or self-expression without fear of judgment. Ground oneself in the present rather than projecting outcomes based on fears of inadequacy. 2. Consciousness thrives on nurturing and self-sufficiency. Consciousness inherently nurtures itself by recognizing its completeness and self-worth without external validation. Application. Dwitiya-born individuals excel at nurturing others, but may struggle with feelings of vulnerability when stepping outside their comfort zone. Consciousness invites them to practice inner self-care, treating themselves with the same compassion they extend to others. Develop an internal dialogue of self-appreciation by affirming strengths rather than dwelling on perceived flaws. Practice mindful moments of self-reflection to reinforce self-sufficiency and appreciation of small achievements. Balance outward appearances with inward emotional healing by identifying what truly nourishes the spirit rather than superficial approval. 3. Consciousness seeks integration rather than division. Consciousness integrates diverse experiences rather than separating or compartmentalizing them. It weaves lessons from challenges and successes into a continuous journey. Application. Dwitiya individuals may have a tendency to separate their personal and professional lives or overprotect their family boundaries, leading to emotional strain. Consciousness teaches that all life experiences, even those outside their familiar circle, can be harmonized to foster growth. Reflect on how work, relationships, and self-care overlap and complement each other, rather than viewing them as isolated categories. Engage with diverse viewpoints to embrace a more inclusive mindset, reducing the fear of losing control over personal spaces. Participate in activities that bridge personal and social roles, such as community involvement that supports family values. 4. Consciousness is comfortable in simplicity. Consciousness does not seek complexity for its own sake. It finds joy and meaning in simple, meaningful experiences. Application. Dwitiya individuals often overthink appearances or outcomes, leading to unnecessary stress. Consciousness encourages them to simplify their thoughts and routines to find peace in simplicity. Create minimalist rituals that align with core values, such as a morning practice focused on gratitude rather than performance. Identify areas of life where excessive planning or control can be replaced by intuitive actions. Reinforce the beauty of simplicity by engaging in mindful breathing and pausing during daily routines to savor small moments of peace. Suggested consciousness actions to overcome Dwitiya challenges. 1. Grounding practices. Engage in nature-based activities, such as walking barefoot or gardening, to reinforce a sense of emotional rootedness. 2. Daily affirmations. Repeat affirmations that emphasize self-sufficiency, such as, I am enough as I am, and I grow through new experiences. 3. Challenge comfort zones. Introduce small, intentional changes in routine to practice adaptability, e.g., taking a new route to work or learning a new hobby. 4. Simplification rituals. Reduce clutter in both the physical and emotional space by practicing mindful decluttering and simplifying goals. By aligning with these consciousness-aligned actions, Dwitiya-born individuals can transform their need for external validation into a resilient, grounded presence that embraces change and finds joy in simplicity. Conscious Astrology? Navigating Tithi? Hi, welcome to Consciousness Podcast. In this season, we analyze the Hindu Vedic calendar system of Panchanga with respect to consciousness principles. We begin with Tithi, the emotional body, which is one of the most crucial aspects of understanding your personality, as it influences emotional patterns throughout your life. Let us begin. Pratipada Tithi Overview. What is Pratipada Tithi? Pratipada is the first Tithi, lunar phase, of the waxing, Shukla Paksha, or waning, Krishna Paksha, moon. It occurs when the moon is 12 degrees ahead of the sun in the zodiac. This marks the initial stage of the lunar journey, symbolizing beginnings, initiation, and fresh energy. People born on Pratipada Tithi have brilliant revolutionary ideas and act quickly. They form strong connections or rivalries in minutes, constantly pushing themselves and others toward ambitious goals. They are passionate about family honor and can be highly particular about their values. However, this intensity can lead to strained relationships with fathers and challenges in married life due to their quick and assertive nature. Astrological significance. In a chart, Pratipada represents the dynamic relationship between the sun, soul, ego, and purpose, and the moon, mind, emotions, and receptivity. The sun provides the foundation of purpose, while the moon's early steps in its cycle show how we emotionally engage with new beginnings. This Tithi represents raw energy, the desire for creation, and the potential for swift yet impactful change. Consciousness principles for navigating Pratipada 1. Consciousness desires expansion through new experiences. Consciousness is inherently drawn to new horizons and thrives on fresh experiences without attachment to past outcomes. It seeks joy and expansion in the unknown rather than security in repetition. Application. Individuals born in Pratipada embody this principle naturally, as they are energetic, innovative, and quick to initiate actions. They seek revolutionary paths and rapid changes, driven by an inherent need to create something impactful. However, this can lead to impatience and difficulty in maintaining calm during delays or setbacks. Cultivate mindful disidentification from the urgency for immediate results by slowing down and embracing the beauty of steady progress. Recognize that not all experiences need to be hurried to reach their peak. By pacing their actions, Pratipada individuals can turn their bursts of energy into long-lasting success. In this way, the principle of expansion shifts from chaotic to purposeful, allowing the individual to experience life as a flowing, unfolding journey rather than a series of rushed milestones. 2. Polarity to neutrality. Consciousness naturally integrates opposites, seeking neutrality instead of dwelling in extremes. It allows us to experience both sides of life without attachment to one or rejection of the other. Application. Pratipada individuals often operate in extremes, either fully charging forward or pulling back in frustration. This tendency can make them reactive and emotionally unbalanced. Consciousness invites them to see that both action and rest can coexist without competing for dominance. Practice mindfulness techniques that help observe emotions without reacting to them. Incorporate regular breaks into their routines, recognizing that moments of rest enhance long-term productivity rather than hindering it. Reframe outcomes by seeing them as valuable lessons rather than victories or losses, reducing the need to cling to a singular narrative of success or failure. Integration of diverse experiences for higher perspective. Consciousness seeks expansion by connecting seemingly unconnected experiences to form a higher perspective. It thrives on diversity, integrating the lessons from various facets of life. Application. Pratipada individuals often view relationships and situations as binary, friend or foe, success or failure. This limited perspective can hinder emotional growth and cause feelings of isolation. Consciousness encourages the development of emotional flexibility and the acceptance of multiple viewpoints. Practice active listening in conversations to understand perspectives different from their own. Reflect on past experiences by identifying unexpected benefits from challenges. Engage in environments that offer diversity, cultures, ideas, or new projects to train the mind to embrace variety rather than fixed conclusions. 4. Consciousness has no desire to retain experiences. Consciousness flows continuously, experiencing life without holding on to any particular event, success, or failure. Its essence is in allowing rather than holding or accumulating. Application. Pratipada individuals may struggle with letting go of past grievances, failed expectations, or emotional triggers. This creates a mental backlog that prevents them from fully engaging with the present. By embodying this principle, they can cultivate emotional freedom and resilience. Practice letting go rituals, such as symbolic release, writing concerns, and burning the paper, to clear emotional clutter. Remind themselves that attachment to an event, whether good or bad, only prevents them from experiencing the next chapter fully. Focus on staying present during daily activities to shift the mind from past regrets or future anxieties toward present awareness. Suggested consciousness actions to overcome Pratipada challenges. 1. Practice stillness exercises. Engage in daily moments of quiet observation to slow down the mind's urgency to act. Focus on observing rather than reacting to stimuli. 2. Neutrality meditation. Visualize two opposing elements, e.g., fast and slow, merging into a calm state of balance to train the mind to release the need for extremes. 3. Gratitude journaling. Document small wins and moments of calm to foster a mindset of self-worth without seeking external validation. 4. Shift from judgment to curiosity. Approach new interactions and relationships with curiosity rather than a binary mindset. This expands perspectives and nurtures deeper emotional connections. By adopting these consciousness-aligned actions, Pratipada-born individuals can harness their revolutionary spirit while cultivating the patience and resilience needed to thrive in all facets of life.